Hello, it's Michael. I'm glad to be out of the hospital and able to talk to you from my apartment. I am doing better. Any of you who sent wishes my way, thank you very much. And yet I come back home to find our world in a much more troubled situation. Arising especially out of the United States. And of course, most of my comments arise out of the United States. And after all, I was born in the United States, spent a lot of years there. And it is basically the spark for the rest of the world for so many, many things. Right now, as you know, COVID has claimed more than 100,000 lives in the United States. It bypassed that milestone. Seems like nobody's business. I mean, it was just so quick. Look at this. Essentially, since middle to end of March, and realistically, everything just started going at April. April and May, a little bit of March is all it took to get 100,000 people dead off of this virus. And people would just, and others want to just say, oh, minimize it as though it's just like a flu. Well, no, this is much more than a flu. And we have to look at the possibility that as well you're dealing with a virus, that will return and return until we finally get an actual vaccine. Leads to the issue of vaccine and the problem that is there. Push, push, push for a vaccine that who knows what kind of other side effects there are going to be. I mean, you have a president who doesn't care about what the side effects are. The hydroxychloroquine, I mean, the side effects are death, heart trouble, all kinds of other things, dizziness. And he's, oh no, got to take that. You know, it's just shocking. So shocking. Oh, there you go again. I apologize again. And so you go on with this and follow this string further about COVID and the mask wearing, the refusal to wear a mask from Donald Trump, and how bad that all looks, and how he's using it to whip up this whole kind of flavor for his presidential campaign about that he's the maverick insider who's outside of Washington, even though he's really in, that he's the rebel who's trying to make everything better instead of listening to all of the people, excuse me again, who are just going to waste money. You know, it's just, it's so shocking. I mean, you look at how the further effects are the lack of social distancing, how that the opening of states has, in many aspects, been a trouble, great trouble, as to how it may just lead to further and further increases and for people to become more and more infected by the COVID. And all of these things are still yet ignored as to their importance. And nobody's noticing that how important the little things are. You then take it from there, and so you go into Trump himself about it, and how that then Trump, having gone off on one of his rants because he's not getting things like he wants, then went to not putting all of this stuff on Twitter, which resulted in people complaining about the stuff that he was putting on Twitter, which is horrible things. I mean, oh my gosh, this lady who died in Joe Scarborough's campaign quarters, Scarborough wasn't anywhere close, so trying to blame it on him is nonsense. Apparently, there was an undiagnosed heart condition of this lady that then the doctors found in the autopsy, and that this is what killed her. So it has nothing nefarious about it. And so then as well, you have all of the stuff going about all of the different ones about what they may have done, may not have done, all of these things, so that finally, after all of the complaints, Twitter had enough, starts putting notices onto the tweets to say that there's a problem there, which should have happened long, long ago. And Trump pulls out his, I have all the power in the world, I'm the king, and so therefore I can tell the internet and everybody who is on social media that they're going to hop to me, and that they're only going to publish things that I like and nothing that I don't like. And if they dare to do anything that he doesn't like, then they're going to be shut down. I mean, this is an extremely disappointing world that has occurred over the last week. I tell you that then you have the death, this horrible death of this George Floyd. I've been as a lawyer for many years, and I've got to say that from a personal point of view, in many, many ways, they hire thugs to be policemen. How they have no lack of concern for people's real rights as soon as they are in charge of them. Policemen will just run roughshod over anything that should be. I mean, just like this thing of the knee on the guy's neck, when there's no appearance of him struggling or causing a problem. But even in that fall, I know there was a fall there, and so if the cop thought that it was a bad fall and that he'd done it on purpose to try and cover up something, still, for all of that time, the guy's saying he can't breathe, and it shows there's total lack of concern for humanity. And this is just in every single police force. It just happens over and over and over again. It seems like no matter what the police force. Well, no wonder people riot. This is what they've been encountering all their lives. I was never in that kind of a situation growing up. But my God, if it was that kind of thing every day, you would be angry. You would rebel. I can only say that hopefully things are kept together and hopefully there begins to be some resolution. Maybe things will resolve somewhat out of the election. Maybe things will resolve somewhat out of some other aspects. Some things will happen to make people more sense and see the concern and care that they need to give to others. I don't know. Hope you start with the ones around you to make sure that you think twice about the concern that you give to them and that you care for them as you would want to be cared for and that you think is right for you. Take care. Talk to you again.